How's it going, everybody? Now, I've been using this recently. This is the Novritsch SSE18. A surprising amount of you took a bit of an interest in the sidearm that I was using, and there seems to be like a bit of a cult following when it comes to AEPs. It's winter in the UK at the moment, and I was having a few issues with reliability on gas blowback pistols.
Why is that not shooting? It's not good.
So I decided to try out the SSE18. Now, it is low powered, like I said. It's about 200 feet per second with a 0.2 gram BB, so very, very low powered. But believe me, you do feel the BB when you've been hit with it close range. I have been using the Novritsch Modular Suppressor, but as a lot of you pointed out, it didn't look straight in the video. That's because it doesn't really tighten up very well. There, you can see just there's an Allen key screw, and you put it into position, then screw that Allen key, and then it should keep it in position. But every time I pulled it out of my holster, it was always a little bit crooked, and that did upset some of you people with OCD. It did annoy me a little bit, to be honest with you, as well. So as you can see, the SSE18 does come with a 14mm counterclockwise thread adapter, so you can put on there tracer units or suppressors if you want to. The slide itself is made from metal, I believe it's aluminium, and the threaded section there is attached to the slide, so it's going to be nice and strong, no plastic to break there, it's all very, very secure. The lower section is all plastic or a polymer, whatever you want to call it, the same thing, but it houses all the motor and the gears all just inside there. The SSE18 also does come with a fibre optic style front sight as well. The rear sights are unmarked. With the SSE18, to release the top slide, you just push in the back button there, and the top slide comes off to reveal all your internals. So you've got the LiPo in there, LiPo battery is in there. The LiPo battery does come out of there, but I'm not going to take it out because it's a bit of a squeeze to get it in there. And you've got, you can see there, mini Dean's connectors as well. And there is your inline MOSFET, so you've got a MOSFET as well. Cyma do run a very similar version to the SSE18. It's, I think they're on like Gen 4 or Gen 5 now, which will allow you to take 11.1 volt batteries, and also has I think it's a 3 round or 2 round burst, 3 round burst I think, functionality on it as well. So the Cyma is also worth checking out if you're looking for an AEP. Like I say, it is a tight squeeze. You can see the battery in there taking the whole length of the available space in there, and on the other side you've got all your wires. So it is a very tight squeeze to get your slide on. And there is a little cable, it's not nipped this time. Sometimes it does nip like a little cable, this little white one just here. On this side you've got your hop adjuster. I'm not a big fan of this hop adjuster. It just doesn't feel like there's any feedback on it at all. It's very kind of loose. You can't help feel that it maybe adjusts itself. I don't know if it does or not. I don't think it does. So far I've not noticed, but it's so easy to move, and I would love to have it. It's probably not possible, but I'd love to have it so it clicked. Or what would be even better, maybe a TDC. TDC would be very easy to do on these. With this SSE18 you do have the fire selector up there, so you've got single shot and you've got full auto as well. So it's got a nice rate of fire for such a little thing, but a little different to its gas blowback cousin. The SSE18 does have a safety on the switch here, so you can push that safety down and the trigger won't move as well. But it also has the usual Glock style trigger safety there, so if you just pull the trigger it won't fire until that little centerpiece is then pulled. You'll see underneath there that it has a Picatinny rail, so it's handy for sticking on torches, flashlights, lasers, etc. These are the little magazines that it takes. Now, if you've got big hands, these can feel a little bit small and awkward, but they do hold 29 BBs in there, which is more than most gas blowback magazines do. But obviously, because you don't need the gas chamber in these magazines, they can afford to be a lot smaller, and they do fit in like so. If you're wearing gloves, they can be a little bit fiddly to get in and out and to get hold of and feel, etc. Loading the BB is very straightforward. You just load them in from the top with the standard speed loader. So there we know, and you don't have to worry about them stacking properly, because they do tend to stack perfectly like that. Extended magazines are also available, which hold like double the BBs that this does. Personally, I would empty these mags after you finish using them for the day, because with my old Cyma Glock 18 magazines, which are exactly the same as these, I think the springs got weak on these little retention bits that hold the BBs in place, and if I tap it, the BBs would just fly out ever so easy. I think that was down to the weak springs. So just make sure you empty these. Personal opinion, empty these after use. Back in the day when I used to have my old Cyma Glock, I used to have trouble putting these in pouches and finding pouches good enough for these without losing them. Novritsch company has come out with a little retention system pouch, so you can put two of these in together, and they're easily reachable and grabbable with your gloves on as well to get them out of your holster, and they hold in nice and firmly as well. A lot of the questions I was getting was with regards to, is it quieter than a Mark 23? Well, no, it definitely isn't quieter than a Mark 23, but it is quieter than an AG, and most certainly quieter than a gas blowback pistol. You're not really going to get a very good comparison of me firing it next to the camera. And here it is with suppressor on. Obviously, you're not going to get the full experience of how the suppressor changes the noise when I'm firing right next to the camera, but believe me, it does do a good job at deadening that air sound leaving the barrel. If carrying weight is something that you're interested in, let's weigh the gas blowback SSE18. It has got the light and plastic slide on there and lightened internals. I think you can add another 100 grams on top of this for the standard metal slide that it comes with. So 390 grams, a very lightweight pistol. With the SSE18, the electric version, it is 525 grams, so a little bit heavier there. When it comes to magazines, you can see the size difference in the magazines. Obviously the AEP magazine doesn't need a gas chamber to hold all that gas in to propel the BB, even though the AEP magazine does hold more BBs. So let's check the weight of these magazines. So the gas blowback magazine weighs in at 280 grams, which is over half the weight of the actual pistol itself, whereas the AEP magazine comes in at 105 grams. So you can carry almost 3 of these to the weight of one of these. Let's see what they weigh with their combined weight. So the SSE18 is 680 grams, and the SSE18 with the magazine in's combined weight, 630 grams. So all in all, if you're carrying a few mags, the SSE18 is going to be the lighter option. I'm not going to lie to you, the maximum range of the SSE18 isn't anything really to write home about at all. You'll be lucky if you're hitting about 40 meters with a 0.2 gram BB. Obviously it's only 200 feet per second, half a joule with a 0.2 gram BB, but really the main reason I'm using this is not to take targets out of massive range. If a target is outside my minimum engagement distance, I'm taking them out with my bolt action. If they come into my 25 MED, this is what I'm going to use. And as long as I can pull it out of my holster and it fires reliably in cold weather, then that's all really that matters to me. As for holsters, with my ghillie suit loadout, I was using a Warrior Assault Systems universal holster, but I do love this holster and they do fit in there just fine. It's adjustable, so you can use loads of different replicas in this holster. It's one of my favourites. For the money it cost, it was like 21 and 22 pounds, and it just holds so many different replicas inside it by just adjusting these 2 screws here, and you've got the button there to lock it into place. I hope this maybe answered some of your questions about the SSE18, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.